Microsoft just seriously flipped the whole script for anyone building Copilot agents with Copilot Studio. Now, this wasn't some minor update or some small new feature. It was a complete fundamental change to the entire engine that powers Copilot Studio. And honestly, it's one of the most important shifts for that platform in a very, very long time. In fact, it's actually making me reconsider what my own opinion of Copilot Studio, and that takes a lot in this case. So we're going to break down this whole news announcement that Microsoft put out and talk about what this shift actually is. Let's get into it. If you build, manage, or pay for any AI solutions on the Microsoft stack, then you've got to understand what this means, because the agents you can build today are on a whole nother level compared to what was possible just a couple of months ago. To get to why this is such a big deal, we need to look at how things used to be. For years, we had a tool called Power Virtual Agents, and then later was Microsoft's first crack at Copilot Studio, which was really just some lipstick on Power Virtual Agents. A lot of that old legacy stuff was carried forward, and then they just put a better large language model on the thing and kind of called it a day. What we were building were structured conversational bots. But let's get real. They got the job done for simple things, but building anything complex with them was a real chore. And those legacy tools, things like topics, it it just encouraged people to build agents the wrong way. I constantly saw people overusing topics, building out very, very rigid, structured conversation flows, and the language models just weren't designed for that. They were much more powerful if you took a lot of those guardrails off and let the thing do what it does best. In addition to that, the user experience for end users was really, really bad. Creating a lot of these connections required multiple clicks, opening up new tabs, authorizing connections, closing, hitting retry inside the agent. It was bad. It was bad. What we've got now is very different, and that comes with some pros and some pretty big cons. But in essence, the older Copilot Studio agents, well, I say older, it's really what you were building like a month ago. But those were basically just like flowchart builders for conversations. Now let's fast forward to just a week or two ago when Microsoft announced this new experience for Copilot Studio. And they've called it just the new Copilot Studio experience. And as you've noticed or maybe you haven't, in the interface, and I think I pointed this out in a recent video, the new agents you build are powered by GitHub Copilot. It actually shows it in the interface. There's a new powered by column. And this may not mean a lot to low-code developers and certainly not to no-code developers. The pro developers out there know exactly what this thing is. And you don't necessarily have to know too much about GitHub Copilot other than it is what's called an agent harness. That is a different type of architecture for orchestration and managing an agent. Before we were building an agent, in fact, let me just show you kind of the comparison of what we used to have and what we've got now. So before we were building an agent. It would connect to tools, and those were generally provided by Power Platform itself. It would go, and the way this would work is it would figure out which tools it needs to call. It would call the tools, and then it would call the language model, and then it would return the output back to the user. This is how it used to work. It was a very predictable and repeatable pattern. This was generally how it works. So by the time the language model really got involved, to a serious extent anyway, kind of all the tool calling and everything was done. And it was from point A to point B and output to the user. Very, very rigid structure there. Now, let's talk about what this new GitHub Copilot brings to the table. So we've still got we've still got our agent. And now what we're going to have, instead of having tools down here, what we're going to have is a larger box around this agent. This is GitHub Copilot. GitHub Copilot is going to basically surround this agent with a whole nother level. It's going to be managing the things like the tools that the agent has access to. It's also much more important, I would say, is it's going to manage something called a to-do list for this thing. So in the other example, when we just had the agent, it would call the tools, it would call the model, and then kind of that was it. Without getting into some of the topic things, it was kind of that was it. It decided what it needed to do, and then it did it, and then it was done. Well, what happens if the agent gets information and maybe it needs to adjust what it's supposed to do? Well, in the old example, it wouldn't. It would just return, maybe say something like, well, I couldn't call this tool, so I don't know what else to do. Now with this agent harness right here, GitHub Copilot, it can adapt to those other things happening, and it will update the to-do with additional things. If it needs to add more items to it, it decides, well, based off of what information I've got from the tools and my own reasoning, let's add some additional steps to this and keep working through the problem that the user presented us until we have what we know is exactly what that user wants. That's a very, very different thing than what we had with SharePoint agents, Agent Builder agents, and the old Copilot Studio agents. In fact, it's different from any type of agent, really, even pro code agents that were just simple agents with simple orchestrators. It's a very different deal now that we've got an agent harness that will be managing all of this for us. We get much higher quality output. You start to see a lot more thinking, and you'll start to see a task list. Even M365 Copilot is now exposing more of that agent harness, and you're starting to see kind of a to-do list, and it's checking things off as it goes. If that sounds familiar, you've probably seen this in Claude if you've been using Claude. This certainly was something like Cowork or Claude Code, but in general, Claude also is an agent harness, or it leverages an agent harness. And so a lot of times people would say, well, Anthropic has just a much better output versus Copilot. Well, it kind of did jump the gun there and already use an agent harness, I think, from the beginning. Maybe I'm wrong. But now we've got Copilot Studio leveraging this as the default agent experience. Now, this does have some really big cons here, but one of the big pros that I'll mention is the tools here. These tools, they work different than the tools down here. The tools here were all Power Platform connectors, and it had all of the clunkiness that came along with that. While it might work fine when there's a visual interface that someone's using, like in Power Apps or Power Automate, they're having to authorize connections. That just fell apart when you're talking about a chat connection or a chat experience. So the tools that GitHub Copilot are bringing are from an entirely different type of technology. I believe all these are coming from MCP endpoints. All these MCP servers that have been popping up because of Agent 365. They've been showing up in the tools menu, and I've covered that with my Agent 365 playlist. But they work entirely different. They don't have the same issues as the Power Platform connectors. So this new generative orchestration method via an agent harness, it brings a lot more advanced reasoning right into Copilot Studio. So instead of just following some predefined flowchart, an agent built with this new engine powered by GitHub Copilot can dynamically plan, problem solve, and chain together different tools and actions and knowledge sources to hit a specific goal. It's a move from building a basic bot that just follows rules to creating an agent that can autonomously chase an objective if need be. Not everything's going to be autonomous, of course, but it can really think through a problem and adapt as the runtime variables change. And this is what I'm seeing as possible now with Copilot Studio is that we're able to actually maybe start doing some complex work. We'll get right back to that video, but first, Copilot's really good with working with your data, but the question is, how are you protecting that data? If you don't have a backup and recovery strategy for your organization, this is your wake-up call. Think your cloud data is safe just because it's in Microsoft 365 or Google Workspace? Think again. Accidental deletions, ransomware, and compliance gaps can still put your business at risk. AFI is a next-gen backup and recovery platform built for modern cloud environments, including Microsoft 365, Google Workspace, Azure, AWS, and Kubernetes. It offers full fidelity restores, encrypted full-text search, version history, and even self-service recovery, so users can get back data without waiting on IT. And when ransomware hits, AFI detects it early and automatically backs up your data before damage is done. Over 10,000 organizations trust AFI to protect their cloud data. If you care about uptime, compliance, and peace of mind, it's time to back up smarter with AFI. Now let's talk through the pricing here because the pricing is a big deal as well, not in a good way. Before, we were used to building out agents, testing them for free right inside Copilot Studio until it was ready to go to production, and then we put it in production. And then if a user didn't have a Microsoft 365 Copilot license, it would cost us Copilot credits. And depending on what actions the agent performs, will make the cost different, higher or lower, depending on the complexity and how many actions and so on. But if they had a Copilot license, then all of those actions were free for that user. It was all just included as a benefit or an entitlement of the M365 Copilot license. That's gone now. I mean, you can still create what they're now calling as those classic agents, ones with topics. But now, if you're going to create something with this new GitHub Copilot powered experience, then everything you do, including in the testing interface, is going to cost Copilot credits. So that entitlement that we got from M365 Copilot, that doesn't come into play at all with this. So you're going to have a higher cost in terms of Copilot credits with this new experience. But it kind of does make sense because it is a much more powerful type of output that you're getting compared to what you used to get in that classic experience. And a lot of the customers I've talked to are already buying Copilot credits, whether they're doing the Copilot Studio license where you get 25,000 credits a month, or they're getting the P3 plan where they're getting maybe 1 million or more credits to be able to spend for these things. I think this is only going to be used for like much more sophisticated agents where you've got to have a more seamless experience for the end user, and it's doing a lot more powerful work. Your simple agents, maybe you stick with Classic, but if you hate that end user experience, I would probably look at Agent Builder if you can get away with that one, because it is simply a better end user experience for simpler tasks. And as I've mentioned in another video, kind of the free ride is kind of really ending for AI in the Microsoft world, but as well as everywhere else, all the other vendors. You know, that old phrase, the first taste is free. Well, we kind of got that first taste, and that Copilot license could only carry us so far into more and more advanced technology, because at some point Microsoft just simply loses money on the Copilot licenses. So to make it more sustainable, they had to kind of draw a line somewhere. And a full-blown agent harness seems to be that line. And if you saw my co-work video recently, kind of Same thing there. Like that's not included with your Copilot license, but you still had to have that Copilot license, of course, just to be able to access that feature. Everything is all about making sure there is a return on investment. Microsoft's making sure of that, and you as the customer are also concerned about getting that return on investment for what you're spending for your your AI solutions. ROI is a major deal right now because AI is very, very expensive. And if you don't have a way of determining where that waste is happening in your environment, whether it's Copilot licenses that no one's even using or licenses that someone's not even getting much value out of because they're hardly using it. It's all just a lot of waste and in a year's time span that could be hundreds of thousands of dollars that you could be reclaiming, reassigning to other users who would be getting that value. But how do you even get started with that? I'd recommend Advance. You'll see a link in the description below. It is a cloud solution that helps you find, reclaim, and reassign all of that wasted cost and licensing for M365 Copilot. So let me know if you've started to use the new Copilot Studio experience, what you think of it, especially as an end user, what that connection experience feels like to you compared to the old classic agents. I think it is a night and day difference. I'm still on the fence if this is actually ready for complex use cases, but it is in a much better place than it used to be. I can say that much very confidently. They're definitely headed the right direction with this, but time will tell how this architecture and platform will hold up against something more powerful like a pro code solution, maybe even one leveraging the GitHub Copilot SDK or other powerful agent harness frameworks, which one of them just got added to the agent framework library. So let me know what you think down below of this new Copilot Studio experience and that guaranteed Copilot credit spend for anything you're building in this new experience. I'll talk to you down in the comments below, and if you want to see other Copilot agent videos, just click or tap the screen, and I'll see you over there.